Maria, police have arrested Scott Green 5 times for driving drunk. And on top of that, they've charged him with driving without a license 2 separate times. Now we caught him driving again, raising questions about whether Massachusetts is doing enough to keep people like Green from getting behind the wheel. March 26th, Scott Green gets into his car, puts on his sunglasses, and drives away. For most of us, a typical day. But Green is different. His license has been revoked for life. We caught up with him last week to ask him why he's still driving.
So you wanted to talk to you about your driving record? Why are you still driving when you don't have a license?
What are you talking about?
What we're talking about is his long and troubled history of drinking and driving. He was first arrested for OUI in 1983, then again in 1985, 1990, and 1998. Then in 2004, a state trooper pulled him over on I-95 in Newberry after watching Green speed and swerve across lanes. The trooper asked Green to recite the alphabet, but according to the police report, he mixed up the appropriate order of the letters and ended the recitation with the letter X. He was arrested and eventually pled guilty to drunk driving. That was the last straw for the registry, which took away his license for life. But police say that hasn't stopped him from driving. Since Green lost his license, he's been charged twice with driving without a license.
Your license has been revoked for life because you've been arrested so many times for drunk driving, yet you still keep getting behind the wheel.
I've been sober for 6.5 years, sir. I take them one day at a time, all right?
I'm glad you're taking one day at a time, but you're also getting behind the wheel when you don't have a license.
I have a driver right here. Okay.
He may have had a driver when we spoke with him, but Green did not have one when Gloucester police pulled him over in 2007 and charged him with driving with a revoked license. That case was dismissed on a technicality. The police mailed his citation too late. In March of this year, a state trooper says he caught Green driving in Reading and arrested him on the spot.
Why do you keep driving?
I'm not keeping driving. I'm not. I have a driver here, and I'm having a hard time.
But it doesn't end there. Just 16 days after his arrest in Reading, we caught him behind the wheel yet again.
When I have you on videotape driving since your arrest, how do you explain that?
I'm not driving without this. I'm sitting here.
You're not driving now, but how do you explain the fact that you have gotten behind the wheel?
Show me the video.
I'll be happy to.
Green visited Fox 25 and watched the video, but declined to go on camera and talk about what he saw. One person who is willing to talk on camera about repeat drunk drivers is Rachel KAPRIELIAN, the Massachusetts Registrar of Motor Vehicles.
People like Scott Green, are they putting the rest of us on the roads at risk?
Absolutely. You have these egregious cases, and they are menaces. They are literal menaces on our road, and they should be stopped.
The registry has permanently revoked more than 4,000 licenses, but KAPRIELIAN says there's not much the RMV can do to keep these menaces off the road.
But if they want to drive, they can?
The RMV has revoked their licenses in almost every single one of these cases, and as soon as we learn of it, we are all over it. And at that point, it is up to law enforcement to make sure they stay off the road.
The Massachusetts Executive Director of Mothers Against Drunk Driving says many people with revoked licenses are still driving.
Well, we hear anecdotally that between 70 and 85% of folks who have their licenses revoked will still get behind the wheel of a car and drive.
MCNAMARA says more needs to be done to keep chronic drunk drivers off the road.
Pretty hardcore alcoholics. They're actively in the disease, and they really are not fazed in any way, shape, or form by having their license revoked.
Scott Green may not be fazed by having his license revoked, but there's one thing that would keep him off the roads: jail. He has a hearing this week on his latest charge of driving with a revoked license. If convicted, he could be locked up for up to 2.5 years. Maria and Mark?
All right, Mike, so what is the Middlesex DA's office? What are they saying about the video that you recorded of him driving?
Well, that latest case that's pending is out of Woburn District Court. And yes, we did talk to the DA's office about it. We told them about the video and what we discovered. And a spokesperson tells us that the DA's office plans to get a copy of our video. And if there's evidence that Green was driving, which it seems pretty clear there is, the district attorney's office will move to revoke Green's bail.
Mike, if taking away someone's license doesn't keep them from driving, what can we do to keep these drivers off our roads?
Well, we know that it's up to the police to stop someone whose license is revoked, but Matt says police need to hear from the registry and the courts who these chronic offenders are so police can keep an eye on them.